Sorry about that. Okay, so my question, Gavi, is, with the members that we have in Fire Connect, how do you process your referral? What is your process of connecting people?
Right, absolutely. So I think a better question would be, how do I match? Okay, it's fairly easy for me, Martha, sorry, Marie, because I'm sorry. It's because I do taxes for, such people, and I know exactly the numbers, and I know what's going on, who's doing what. And once you're taking, especially if you're looking at deals, right? I'm so sorry. My throat is so bad right now.
Okay, you take your
But
time.
yeah, so I understood exactly what Steve was looking for, because I worked with multifamily deals, multifamily, syndications and stuff in the past as well.
Mhm.
So for me to get that match wasn't a big deal. I have some high net worth clients who are willing to invest, and and Paul happened to be one of them who had that surplus money. So I send out feelers, just text messages, simple things. And quite a few of them came back to me. Two of them came back to me immediately, as a matter of fact. So that's how I filter. Since I know the finances, I know the numbers, I know in which situation they are in, I'm able to convince them that this might just be the right deal for them,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I think that's awesome.
yeah.
All right, Gavi. Now your turn to ask either Martha or Brian.
Absolutely. Brian, tell me a bit about what you do. I know that you're doing tax planning for for charities. For how long have you been doing this, and what motivates you? Like, what made you, go in this direction? And then how do you get your clients? Like, how do you get those people to sign up?
Well, that's a mouthful. Good thing I like to talk. So I actually got interested in charitable planning um, probably 6, 7 years ago. Uh, this September, next month, I will have been an advisor for 14 years. But client came in and he said, um, I want to take my required minimum distribution this year, send it to my checking account. I'm going to write a check to my church for $5,000. And I said, that's great, but you may not want to do it in that order. And he says, what do you mean? I want to give my church $5,000. That's not the problem, but if we do it your way, it's going to cost you over $6,000 because you're going to have to pay taxes on that $5,000 distribution. So if you just give that directly to the church and you never accept possession of that money, then you're not paying the income tax on it, and you get to keep that 1,000 plus, and your wife will be much happier. Church will still get the money. You won't pay the taxes because you never took what's called constructive receipt of the money. Um, he, he thought that was a great idea, so he's done it every year since then. But then I started looking at other strategies that were beneficial, So, and guy came in, my CPA says I need to donate $50,000 to some charity, so I could save money on taxes. So we'll sell my Microsoft stock, and um, I'll write him a check. It's, great, but you don't really want to do it that way because you're going to pay capital gains. He had held it for a long time. It had almost doubled in value. You're going to pay capital gains on that. You're going to, pay the commission to sell it. Um, by the time you're done, that $50,000 that you're giving to charity is going to cost you a little over $70,000. Just give the stock directly to the charity. You still get the charitable um, contribution. You still get that write off, but you're not paying the commission, not paying the capital gains taxes. And if you really love your Microsoft stock, take the 50 grand you were going to write the check and rebuy the stock, and now you own it at a higher cost base. So when you sell it again, you have less games to have to worry about paying tax. So I started looking at more of that. I do a lot of reading. I like to know what's going on. And what I discovered was everybody's happy. The, the charity's happy because they get more money to fulfill whatever mission they have. The donors happy because they're getting to do something that makes their heart happy. Or maybe they're just doing it just because they want the tax break. Doesn't matter to me because the organization is still getting the funds. Depending on my involvement, sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't. And my wife is happy that I'm doing cool stuff. She's happier when I get paid for it. And for me personally, if an organization receives more funding because of a conversation I had with someone, it's like me writing them a check, right? So last year, I mentioned before in one of the meetings, I saved a woman $220,000 in taxes, income taxes last year, where she turned around and she wrote 2 checks, one to her church and one to her favorite charity. To me, that's a big win. So everybody would, except maybe the IRS. And I don't really know anyone that cares about them that way. So because of the charitable work, I started getting more into tax deferral because if you send less money to the IRS, you can send more money to charity, which is how the system is built to work anyway. You don't really get to keep the money, but if you want to send less to the government, then you give more away to charity, which led to figuring out all these different kinds of strategies. There's lots of them out there. They're in the tax code. People just need to know about them and be able to use them. So did that answer both your questions, Gabby?
Yeah, it does. It sure does. And Brian, I'm going to send you a message on LinkedIn, and then you and I need to connect. Okay. So we'll just hop on for a Zoom call or something like that next week. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome.
And the other thing, since we don't have very many people on here,
Mhm.
I figure I could take a little bit more time.
Mhm.
My entire business model is built on network. Everything I do is built on network.
Yes.
And the reason for that is you know people that I don't know, and I know people that you don't know, and you know people that need what I provide, and they don't know me. So if I'm working with you, and you pick the strategy apart, and you think, well, this is really going to work great for my client to solve this
Mhm.
problem
Mhm.
that I've been trying to solve,
Right.
which usually deals with cash flow, because
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
want them to do something and they don't want to do it because it's going to interrupt their cash flow that they want to use for something else.
Right.
I'm sure you deal with that every day.
Yeah.
So if I can help with that, and I'm not talking about replacing anything,
Right.
you just bring me in, solve this one problem, and then you put me back on the shelf until you have another problem that I can solve for you. And the
Absolutely.
reality is that some of the most impactful tax planning strategies involve investment products, like insurance. So
Right. Right. No, definitely. I think you and I, we need to connect, right? You and I need to have a one-on-one. So yeah.
and that's
Okay.
why both my companies have the word network in the name. So
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
the advisory firm is Planning Network Partners.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm a fiduciary. The other company does the charitable planning is Charitable Planning Network,
Right.
because network is at the center of both of those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank
And I
you,
will
Brian.
shut up now
Thank you, Brian. All right,
temporarily.
Brian, you have Martha or Jasmine. Jasmine, welcome. Are you available on video?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, not on video right now.
Okay. So
Right,
Brian, who would you like to ask a question, Martha
Man,
or
it's
Jasmine?
It's hard. I'm gonna pick on Jasmine.
Okay.
What's new in Jasmine's world?
Well, I'm excited to announce that Marie has given me a referral of a lifetime. And so I'm very excited about the gentleman that she referred to me. It was a perfect fit. The two of us run so quickly. Like I said, she's one of the only people that runs as fast as I do, as far as I'm concerned. It's a rare thing. And so we kind of like, as far as I'm concerned, like our gravity kind of pulled us towards each other because we're spinning so fast, like two just, celestial beings. And so now we are working together, but we hadn't had time to slow down and actually find out the best ways to work together. So we forced each other to do that the other day. And I got to tell you, the results have been phenomenal. So thank you, Marie, for putting together a marketing schedule plan for me. And then even giving me vendors to try to implement that. And so far, the first one has been phenomenal. So I'm excited about working with that guy. I'm right now restructuring the whole firm. And this is a perfect match for what I'm looking to do when we come out in 2023 with our new platform. So that's what's most exciting to me right now. I have, from like my growth standpoint, but I actually am excited about a commercial building. I got a note for a commercial building in Texas, a place called Humble, Texas. So I just started looking into it. I got a buyer for it. And so as we're looking around, we realized that they have the Freemasons rent out a part of the building. So I didn't know what that meant, but as I was showing my business partner, she's like, oh, my grandfather and my grandma, they're all Freemasons. She's like, they are really good people and they pay their bills. So she's like, they're not going anywhere. So I'm just excited to be bringing some real quality assets to my clients who are going to be getting cash flow. That building's going to cash flow $5,000 a month. And it's all occupied. It's in a real nice home in Texas. And yeah, so just a lot of good stuff. I'm getting inventory and I'm just rocking and rolling.
Awesome. All right, Jasmine. Now you've got Martha. You can ask Martha a question.
Martha, what do I do when I see a whole bunch of, what are those things called, crates laying around? Like, how do I like either make money off those or get them to you to make money of them? Because those things, now you know how it is. Once you see a yellow Ferrari, that's all you see. Well, now all I see are these, whatever you call them, freight things laying around.
The pallets? Is it the flat
Yeah,
pallets?
the pallets. I see now. I see pallets everywhere.
I love that. You can sell them. If you have connections, let's say if there's a lot of more than 100, you can just let me know where they're at and I can connect you with pallet companies near the area, or you can just call them and say, hey, and you just say that you're selling them and try at least $3 and I'm sure they'll pick them up and they'll pay you.
Okay, yeah, that's so funny because all of a sudden I see like so many of them and I was like, I need to call Martha and see what how to get these into her mix. So no, it's very exciting to network with so many people, so many different backgrounds. So my question to you outside of that is, how has things been going? I think you had an event most recently, or you have one in Chicago.
I'm having one tomorrow.
Oh. I was very excited about going there, even though I'm far away. The one on the rooftop, right? You're going to be, it looks exciting.
Yes, we're going to have cocktails. It's going to be just a time to celebrate. It's going to be tomorrow. So I'm excited. There's a lot that I have to bring to that day. And as any event that you're hosting, it's a lot of pieces.
Right. What do you expect to get out of that? What's your purpose for that meeting, if you don't mind me asking?
So what is the ultimate goal behind it? I have my cafe. So I owned a cafe there in Edgewater. So it's by the lake in Chicago. So the goal is to get people to know the place. So to popularize it more, because we just opened like 2 months ago. So we're just trying to build a community there and people to see it so they can come get their coffees there, their smoothies and like their breakfast in there.
Wow.
On that
Girl,
note, I would love to share it.
Well,
I have a lot of friends in Chicago. I would love to share it. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I think, do you have your cell phone? Just put your cell phone and I'll send you the link so you can share it.
Okay.
Right.
I still need to meet with you, Jasmine, for the notes. I want to know what in the world are notes and how can I invest in them?
You sure do, girl. These are amazing. So you are like Marie. We have to slow down our spins to.
Well, Jasmine,
Yes.
I did let you know that we're putting together a workshop for the members and for the non-members. So if you are interested, it's a 2-hour workshop that you have to provide the title and description, and then we can schedule you for to do a workshop in Fire Up Connect. Okay.
Okay, let's talk some
Okay.
more offline.
So,
Definitely.
Martha, what's your question for me?
Mm, I'll ask you not a business question. I'll ask you a like formal question. What are you up to this weekend?
This weekend, I'm doing the radio show filming for the Building Solid Foundation, and I will be also on a call with WCTE. This is the former NFL football player, Wes Chandler, Hall of Fame, and I am part of his company to do the marketing. And this, so they're bringing a lot of the former NFL football in the call and talking about the topics that we need to share on a radio show platform. So that's a call that I have to have tomorrow. And I'm also presenting tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning on a mastermind to talk about what was that the topic that they said that because I am a networker, that they wanted me to do a presentation. And the title of that is, let me read it to you. Hold on. They call it How to Break Out of Your Comfort Zone and Become a Master Networker. And that's what I'm presenting tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning.
Wow, you see what that question led to? She's amazing.
So I got 4 things tomorrow to take care of. And Sunday is, of course, we have the radio show. And I gotta take care of that. So my weekend is really busy. And then next week, I'm actually gonna be in Las Vegas, because I don't know if you're familiar with James Malinchak. James Malinchak is one of those high-end coach. And he was also on ABC network as what was that? What was his title? He has a title that was and I'm just blanking out right now. But we're gonna be at his house in Las Vegas for 4 days, because this is a program that we signed up to be in his house, and we're doing some sort of a mastermind in terms of what we're doing. So, and he helps us, organize and make it better for us. So that's what we're doing next week.
Perfect.
So lots of great things. And the more I learn, the more I share it with you guys. Okay. All right.
Wonderful.
So
I wanted to let you know that I put an invitation for those of you who are interested and may have a time that tomorrow, first Saturday of every month, we do a very casual meeting open to the public. So like Martha, if you happen to be, you're a couple hours ahead of us, so you may not still be in bed at that time, but if you
okay.
happen to be lounging around, you just click in, and it's a very water cooler like event. We all just kind of talk about the new things that are happening with our note portfolios, and you get to meet our community. So I'd love to
We
have you.
have a flyer, Jasmine, and also can you create this event in the Fire Up Connect that we can push it out to the members?
Sure. How would I?
Well, you just have to go log into the Fire Up Connect and create the event.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you
If I
can
have
do
any
that.
trouble, I'll call you. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next part of our meeting. And this time, I wanted to. I was thinking about it this morning, and I'm really, really interested in this, learning more about all of you. It is a question. I know this is the expert section, but it is a question that I need to learn more about how I can really, promote you. So my question is, what is something that you really want people to know about you, that you're very passionate about? It's really something that is very important to you, because I can tell you that, for me, I am passionate about making sure that the people that I have in my network, that they're able to benefit from my platforms, my projects, because I put a lot of hard work and time and sweat on making things happen. And the result that I want out of it is to see you guys become very successful from my creation of work. So that is really what I'm passionate about. I really want to see that happen for all of you. So I want to learn more about what you would like people to know about you, and why is it so important to you. Okay, so I'll start with Brian.
I put it in the chat, but I will say it out loud. I get an immense amount of joy from coming up with creative solutions to complex money problems.
Okay.
Gets my creative juices flowing. Just like I said, with the charitable stuff, everybody's happy. So that gets me out of bed every morning.
Awesome. Okay, what about you, Martha?
I see data the way many people don't see it. And it's really hard to get that across with them, but I can really change businesses if they let me look at their numbers, if they let me set up questions and figure out ways of collecting data. There's a power to that, because I mean, I am no miracle maker nor anything. If I was able to build 5 million to 10 million, and now we're going to get close to 20 million this year, it wasn't because there was a miracle or there's some spell that helped me. It's really the fact of looking at numbers. So what I am able to do is I'm able to go into a company, and I don't want them to just think about me as finances, because it's not just finances. I look at their data, whether it's their finances, whether it's me creating new ways of collecting data to really strategize how they're spending their resources, that being their people, that being their money. How do they optimize that to spend right, and also strategize how they're selling and how they're marketing. It's amazing, but it's really hard to put it in one word.
Yeah.
But I help companies really strategize and optimize their whole business.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Gavi?
So, Marie, I like to be positioned as a real estate tax code expert. Now, when I say that, what do I mean by that? The real estate tax code is complex, as given to us by the IRS, and it changes once every day, which means it changes 365 days during the year. So I definitely know so many, ins and outs, the loopholes that, real estate investors can use in order to leverage, and basically save money in taxes and use that money elsewhere, not pay any taxes eventually, and how they basically create wealth. Wealth generation is the ultimate tool. So this is what I play around with. That is how I see myself. And there are very few CPAs, accountants in the country who actually specialize in real estate taxation. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Jasmine?
Sorry, I'm on mute. I was talking. So the question is my why, or
what is the one thing that you want people to really know about you, and why?
Ooh. One thing that's funny. Probably that as far as business is concerned, that my main passion is to make sure that everyone that I come into contact with at least has a knowledge on how to become financially free. So there's a lot of complex financial things going on out there, but the thing that you need just to get financial freedom is not complicated. So I'm kind of out here to reach those people who just need to be educated on how to get out of that cycle that they're in. That's really where I get my joy from, right? So I've helped over 30 plus people leave their jobs and take on note investing full time, or just retire, right? And so as that's not what I have people sign up for. Do you leave your job? I prefer you keep your job and just be able to work it without having any stress and worrying about whether, they're matching the employee match is making a difference or not. But more importantly, the fact that I have helped people reach that, that just shows me how much empowerment, just knowing the simple things about it So that's my goal, is to leave all the complicated stuff with people like Brian, perhaps. I think he likes to do complicated things. There's a whole set of real, very basic things that America needs to know in order to get, before they get to that stake. And many of us, because we don't get that education, we will never get to being to the point where we need Brian's help, right? And
Yes.
so that's it, to help more people get into the space where they need Brian's and people more complicated financial advice. But the first step is to understand finances like nobody's business. So in conclusion, I'm leaving this Monday to go to Pennsylvania, right, to speak to my passion. And I have a what I call a good debt, bad debt experience. It's called Debt Runs the World, Good Debt, Bad Debt Experience. And I'm going to be teaching it to high school and college students in Pennsylvania in this
Wow.
starting this week. So that's it. I want to make sure people have a great relationship with debt and debt institutions.
That is awesome, Jasmine. Okay, so part of it is for people to know about your passion, for people to know what is important to you. And, you know, we have so many ways to do that. I know Jasmine is doing radio talk show with International Wealth Builders Association. Martha is now the host for the finance part of the radio show. So she's doing education on that. And as far as the Fire Up Connect, we produce this events where we put you on stage and we make sure that everybody recognizes your business and your reputation and who you are and how they look at you. Again, you know, people look up to others in terms of what they can benefit from. So you have to be visible. You have to be out there. You have to educate people all the time. And when you have a platform where, you know, people can listen to you, you know, with more than, you know, 83,000 people, that is an opportunity to talk even to one person. I mean, that's an opportunity. But if you're talking to 83,000 people listening to you, I mean, I don't know what will be the percent of that in terms of, you know, conversion. Normally, it's a 1 to 2%, right? Is what you get out of it, and that's what we're talking about here. If you know who you are and you know it's important to you, you need to find a way to put it out there, be visible, and that's why, you know, part of my talk tomorrow is how do you become a master networker? How do you get out of your comfort zone? How do you become a speaker? How do you educate people? Those are the keywords that you need to put yourself, because I know every one of you is full of knowledge and your background is amazing. I mean, your years of, you know, reputation. I mean, it's amazing what you guys have, but how do we put it out there? Because, you know, here in Fire Up Connect, we get to know each other very well. And I can, you know, really highly promote you if I can put you on a stage and talk about you. And if there's about 100 to 200 people in a gathering, that's where it becomes very powerful, because from there, I have 2 video production companies that are recording you on stage. If you look at James Malinchak, you know, information, that's the kind of branding that he created, and he became so popular because of what he does in terms of branding. I learned a lot from him too. But there's so many people out there that knows how to brand themselves, and branding is the key for you to get more people into your business. So I just want to keep that information, you know, share that information to you.
Marie,
Okay,
I had a
so-
question for you. So how do you, okay, so not everyone is good at sales, or not everyone is good at self-branding or, you know, marketing. Do you, how do you help those people? So for example, me, you know, I think I have the knowledge, but again, I cannot brand myself really well. How do you help such people? Tell
So
me.
one way, Gabby, is we have to interview you
Mhm.
and be able for people to hear your information by someone asking you the questions. So that's one way. Two
Mhm.
is you have to be on a panel discussion,
Mhm.
because that takes away you know, the pressure of being the presenter, but you're sharing your information through a group of people and you can do a panel discussion and discuss it. Okay,
Okay.
that's the
Mhm.
second one.
Mhm.
Third is if you wanted to put out your information on magazine, because magazine it's all about educational, articles in there. You want to make sure that you participate on those kind of, marketing programs. That will be good for you because the magazine goes far. We do launching a magazine. We bring people. We talk about who's the author of the article. We talk about that because again, it's about the story behind. Let me give you an example.
Mhm.
I had this evening gown that was given to me by a fashion designer. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so when I got it, I was really excited, but I didn't, a lot of designers gives me gowns, so it's okay. And it was like, I very, very appreciative of it. But
Mhm.
then when I went to her house, and she's an international fashion designer, and I found out that that gown was made by 8 employees, full-time employees, and it took 20 days to sew those stones in the gown
Mhm.
at 20 days. And this is so after I heard that story, what do you think my perception about that gown? What do you think?
Oh,
It changed, right?
right,
It's like
right.
I'm blown away that this gown was made this way. And
Yeah.
she actually designed the design of the gown was created from the computer. She didn't have any fabric. She created from the computer and then created it through working with the 8 employees
Mhm.
to make that happen. So
Wow.
imagine how much this gown is. After I heard that story, my mindset on that gown changed. I
Mhm.
thought this gown is probably about, $200, $500. But after I heard that story, what do you think I think about that gown? That gown is priceless.
Yeah.
And that is a story that you have to tell people about you because they look at you and say, yeah, she is doing tax savings. But is that enough to really for people to really look at you in a very high level that, if you share your story, then it changes the mindset of people.
Right.
That is what you call branding.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah.
you provide a lot of information, educational information on a magazine, and you are like in a radio show being interviewed or even hosting a radio show,
Mhm.
people's mindset change. They think, wow, she's got a radio show and she's educating, millions of people. And then you are asked to be in a panel discussion, or you can be a presenter on a stage where there's hundreds and people listening to you.
Right.
Those are perception for branding. And you have to put yourself in that. When I saw Martha in one of the events and she was wearing this green gown and she spoke, in Spanish, because this is a Latina event.
Mhm.
She spoke with passion. I was so amazed and so admiring her after she did that because there were a lot of people and she wore her best gown and she presented in that event, with no hesitation how she shared her passion. It's like, she is in, she was very powerful about it. And I love that about her. And I can tell you, Martha is really going after it. She knows. She's actually working with me on putting her on a cover of the magazine for Fire Connect right now. She has done multiple photo shoots to get me the right photo for the magazine, because when you're in the cover of the magazine, that also changed people's perception. That's why a lot of the real estate agents like to be in the cover of the magazine because they know what they're getting. Remember, I am in the real estate industry, and my focus, I know how to promote the agents. And so it's the same thing with the with the business industry. You have to put yourself out there to where, people can see you and look at you in a different way. I mean, you are doing tremendously already with your business, but you need to have that branding, the visibility out there for people to go after you. Okay.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And then, I just had this idea, as we spoke. I think, I'm just coming back to the whole Brian thing. So how is Brian, whatever Brian does and I do, how is it different so that we avoid the whole overlap, process?
To be
So,
honest with you, the power of working with each other is going to make it so double. I mean, it's going to make it so tremendous for both of you
right,
because
right. Right. And I had this idea, and I think I'm going to share it with you right now. So I think what Brian does is more to do with, tax planning. And maybe we can position it this way. So mine could be tax planning for real estate investors or just the real estate people, right? Wholesalers, syndicators, flippers and so on and so forth. And then maybe on the other hand, he can do tax planning about, charities and with small business owners. I think that's how he and I can differentiate our business model.
Yeah.
What do
And
you
you
think?
have to understand, Gabby, that people connect with people based on, how they are. Because some people will connect with you and some people will connect with Brian. Not everybody is going to be your client. But at the
Right.
same time, you're working together because you just never know who you're gonna connect with. But if you're both together, you're gonna capture more people and you will be able to work together if you really see how that works, because that's why I put together the finest women in real estate that way. I have a dozen of women in real estate that I did a program with, and they all work together. And guess what? They were actually referring business to each other, and they were like, because they know that, okay, this person is not available to help this one client, so she referred this one to the other person just because of the time and something within their situation. And you will be surprised, Gabby, that if you and Brian work, you would see that there's a lot of benefits that you can get out of it. And it's just a matter of how you look at yourself with Brian. And there's definitely a lot of education that can come through between the two of you, and it makes it more powerful. And that is something that you have to look in the business. It's never a competition for anybody. It's actually a compliment to work with someone that in your same industry. And it again, this is about your relationship, your how you communicate with people, your how you collaborate. Those are the keywords. It doesn't matter if they're in the same industry, as long as if you ended up really liking each other and really can see the compatibility. That's the miracle of working with people.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, obviously, I get that part,
Yeah.
and maybe going back to the start of the conversation, you said that, you remember you said that maybe Brian and I, we need to figure out, we
Yes.
need to talk to each other and figure out how do we complement each other, right? And how do
Yes.
we avoid the overlap, right? And that's
Yes.
exactly, and this thought just came to my mind, right? When I said maybe, we can differentiate on such basis, but at the same time, be happy to refer people around, right? Happy to
Yes.
refer clients around. That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to say to you.
Yes, yes. And actually that is, that is amazing that, and one of these days, you guys are going to be on a panel discussion and teach people how do you collaborate with the same business that you have, because you guys are going to be one of those experts in terms of working together, and you can teach other people to do the same thing. And that's the
Absolutely.
beauty about this whole process. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let me add to that. I'm not a CPA, and I don't play one on TV either. But the reason I'm able to talk about tax planning for businesses is because of my partnership with other CPA firms who also agree that if we work together, then we're going to be more benefit to more people than trying to stay in our silos, um, and do it all ourselves. I Gabby has probably forgotten more than I'm ever going to know about accounting, and that's okay because I don't need to know it. I just need to know I can call her
Yes.
and say, "Hey, here's a person that needs to talk to you," and here's a person that we can help together. I'm trying to work on this. They need this. They don't have a CPA, or they have one they're not happy with. Their CPA is just happy to do their tax and doesn't really want to, they're a tax preparer, not really a tax planner. And those are two entirely different
Absolutely. You got it right, Brian. You got
So,
it.
so we're never in competition.
Yeah.
We're stronger together.
Yes. Yes, that's really the key there. And the hardest part in any kind of collaboration is, trusting people. And that's why we're here in Fire Connect, is to really get to know people.
Yeah.
Can you really trust Brian? Can you really trust Martha and Jasmine and Gabby? Can you really trust each other? That's why we talk here. we get to know people, because now I feel very comfortable working with Martha. I feel comfortable working with Brian and with Gabby. I still need to get to know you more. Jasmine, I've been working with her a lot, and I can see, you know, her style of working. So we're all learning from each other, but at the same time, the more we learn, the more we educate ourselves, the more I can talk to people, and the more I feel comfortable referring people. That's what the whole process of this Fire Connect. Even though we don't have a lot of visitors, but you know, I get a chance to really get to know you more. And I can, when I talk to people, you're more in my mind because I know more about you. It's hard for me to promote somebody that I have not spent time on talking, and I don't know what they do, and I forget about them. And that's just that's just the deal. You know, people can only remember so much, and the one that spend more time with you, those are the ones that are going to be more embedded in me, and those are the ones that I'm going to be more, you know, talking to people about. So
Absolutely.
that's the key. So
Right.
anyway, we've run out of time. It's already 12 o'clock and we didn't get to cover our, but I think this is amazing. We learned so much from each other. And so I wanted to just get feedback from everybody before we finish the meeting. Feedback from Jasmine.
As always, just excited to be here. And, you know, just more than what you guys are speaking about towards the end is that's why I am here, is just to build relationships with you guys in particular. It doesn't matter how big this group is. I've set my eyes on the people here, and it takes time to build relationships. Everything I do with people is about relationships. I just had two gentlemen from LinkedIn call me and say, hey, I want to know more about those notes you have in Texas. And I said, I apologize, but I only do business with people I have relationships with.
Yeah.
So figure out if we can get a call and get to know each other. He's like, I need you to fill this out, and moving off fast. I'm like, I'm not filling out any forms. I'm not inclined to fill any forms. I'm interested in filling any forms with you until I know who you are and we have relationships. So
Yes.
that's really what I'm here for. So I love the opportunity to get to know you guys better. And thank you for coming weekly, because it gives us a chance to establish that.
Yes. Martha, what do you think of our meeting?
I like the intimate groups. We get to really brainstorm and really get to know each other deeper. I'm excited about all the projects that we're doing together, Marie. The magazine, you already rejected 2 of my pictures, so you're
Yes.
teaching me a lot.
Yes. Oh my God. You guys can't, you have to look forward to this magazine, because she just sent me an amazing photo and a lot of good content about Martha. This is going to be exciting magazine. Gabby, comment.
Marie, I'm really excited to be part of the group. Thank you so much for finding me on LinkedIn. I don't know how we connected and you made me sign up for this, but I am so excited. I look forward to all the events, you know, as to how we work together, you know, on radio shows or whatever that is, you know, and maybe you can help me bring out the best in me as far as, you know, marketing, self-branding is concerned. So yeah, I'm
Well,
excited.
definitely, I would love to have a one-on-one meeting with you, Gabby, and really talk
Okay.
about that. That's what I did
Okay.
with Jasmine, and that's what I did with Martha.
Okay.
Brian, feedback.
I am happy as always. This is, I think, one of my favorite meetings.
Yeah.
And I could feel everyone's passion on this call today. So that's very gratifying.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I think this is an amazing meeting for all of us, and I can't wait to see you guys again on Tuesday. I hope that you guys consider coming to the Fire Up Live event, because that will be a remarkable event. I'm bringing a lot of, video content for that. So I hope that you invite people, come and enjoy the event. Okay, so that's all. And Martha is going to be on the radio show on I believe the third Sunday. So go and make sure that you watch that at kcaaradio.com. Okay, and
All
I'm
right.
Brian. Martha, you're scheduled for interview this Saturday.
Yep.
Okay, and Gabby, I need to schedule you also for a radio interview. So when we have our meeting one-on-one, let's schedule that. Tell me what's good for you, and then I will be able to schedule you for that too. All right?
Thank you.
All
Okay.
right. I have to go repair a toilet now.
Okay.
This has been much more fun.
Oh, well, that's what life is about.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, Martha, thank you so much. Gabby, thank you. And I'll see
All
you
right.
soon, okay?
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
All right,
Thank you.
okay, bye-bye.